Alright, much like the editor of this article, I'm just gonna flat out say Hillary Clinton, you have to be a little bit crazy to run for president. First thing you see is her showing off her smug grin. Apparently, Hillary Clinton, who lost in the 2008 Democratic primary to eventual President Barack Obama, insisted she hasn't decided whether she'll seek out the nomination again in 2016. There's a video about it.
Your husband used to say all the time during the campaign in 1992 that I covered, he used to say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So put it a different way. Wouldn't it be insane if you to run for office again?
Well, I well remember that saying because it happens to be one of our favorites. Well, you have to be a little bit crazy to run for president. Let me just put it like that.
Yeah, and by a little crazy, in this case, if you were going to be running for president, you have to be a whole shit ton of a lot crazy to do that. Granted, you don't have more money than the president who ran for office for 4 years. He's in office for 4 years. Then, if there's not a president up there, you'd have to compete with another financially powerful foe for the office.
Because you have to be so totally immersed and so convinced that you can bring something to that office, that your vision about what you can do to help Americans, and I see them. I mean, I've had people come through the line who tell me their stories about losing their job, about what's happened since they got health care that has helped them, and I hear this. So I know that my life of service is the biggest reason why I would consider doing this, because I would want to continue serving. But I also know that it's a very hard job, and it's a job that you have to be totally consumed by, and that's kind of the definition of being a little bit crazy.
Hold on. She just said that being a president is a very hard job. Now I want you guys to remember this. Being a president is a very hard job, she says. In some cases, I have to disagree with that. Being a president is a very lucrative job. You don't really need any education to become a president. All you need to do is just know the basics of the laws and fundamentals of the society. Alright, so Clinton says she knows she'll be opening herself to scrutiny about the attack on a U.S. compound in Benghazi, Libya, her health and her life in the White House as the former First Lady if she chooses to run. Her book tour has given her a preview of that. In an interview with ABC earlier this month, Clinton made what some call the first error of the 2016 election cycle by saying she and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, were dead broke when they left the White House. In a case, I'd have to go with War Corp 666 side and say, no, you really weren't broke, because the president still makes a whole shit ton of a lot of money, even after he's retired. In her interview with PBS, Clinton acknowledged she was inartful with her word choice. Really? You use inartful in that sense? Well, I shouldn't have said the 5 or so words that I said, but my inartful use of those few words doesn't change who I am, what I've stood up for my entire life, what I stand up for today. Bill and I have had terrific opportunities. Both of us, have worked hard, but we've been grateful for everything that we've been able to achieve, and sadly, that's just not true for most Americans today. Alright. On Tuesday, Bill Clinton defended his wife. It is factually true that we were several $1 million in debt. he said at a Clinton Global Initiative conference in Denver. Everyone now assumes that what's happening in the intervening years was automatic. I'm shocked that it's happened. I'm shocked that people still want me to come give talks. And why would you be shocked? I mean, if they pay you to talk in front of a audience for 3 hours, you happily accept the money and talk. Like, if someone offered you $1 million just to go to the White House and have a public meeting with everybody in Washington, D.C. for 2 hours, and then talk about gun violence and your opinion on where gun control is going to go, you accept the million and go do that. Hillary, he added, is not out of touch, and she advocated and worked as a senator for things that were good for ordinary people. And before that, all her life, I remember when we were in law school, she was out trying to get legal assistance for poor people. Well, great, fine by her. She wants to help the poor people with legal assistance. Let her do that. That's one thing I have to give credit to Hillary Clinton for. She does not say no to any person that's under the average class. She tries to help them. I remember she was working on trying to relieving in paid leave for pregnant mothers in the 1970s. The former First Lady told PBS she appreciated him standing up for her, but it was unnecessary. No comment on that. My husband was very sweet today, she said, but I don't need anybody to defend my record. I think my record speaks for itself. Well, there are going to be people that want to shoot your record, and sometimes you got to rely on the help of people that you love in order to defend your record for them. And that's all I got. And that's all I got for this article.